People, deluded, I'm back again. Good evening if you're listening to this at this point. It's evening time in the UK. Of course, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on who you are, and of course, wherever you are in this world. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Now, this morning, at least this morning in relation to UK time, long story short, I'm pretty sure you all saw formally announced now Jamal Musiala will be representing Germany and not England in his senior career moving forward. And obviously, he's 17 years of age. He's developing very well at Bayern Munich. He scored, 2 days ago? No, I'm lying. Yesterday, he scored against Lazio. He's living the dream. You know, many people that might not have been in the know might have sat there and said, you know what, if you're leaving Chelsea and you're going abroad, maybe you could have went to Dortmund, where his former international youth teammate Jude Bellingham, who's also in Germany and a good friend of his, is. People that said, how'd you playing at Bayern Munich? And this is the thing people don't understand. They had a plan for him, you know. The only thing that they're probably waiting on him now, beyond the obvious, is physically. Still got a lot of growing to do, not in terms of necessarily, obviously, frame and being able to hold off players, but literally growing and stuff like that. It's been touch and go in that regard. There's been a real plan for Jamal Musiala, and he's been on the cusp of first team more or less since he's been there, and he's going from strength to strength. You know, he didn't play a main part, but I'm sure technically he's won a Champions League. I don't know if they gave him a medal. And stuff like that. He's excelling for Bayern Munich. He's a 17-year-old starting for the arguably the best team in Europe. In a last 16 tie, whatever you say. So it shows how good he is, and he was part of these new age England mutants, I call them. You know, every day there's a new English bad boy, and there's some English players that aren't even in the senior level setup that are decent. You know, you've got Yunus Musa, who, like Jude Bellingham, we might lose to another country if he hasn't played an official FIFA competitive fixture for USA. Go and get that one done. You've got Noni Madueke, who's over there at PSV. You've got a bunch of players, people that are jumping around. You know, so obviously, and if you watch me on my channel a lot, I'm always waxing lyrical about Jamal Musiala, either in my podcast. Make sure you check out the DG podcast, people, Mondays and Fridays. And obviously, I'm always talking about him on YouTube. So it's upsetting, you know. First and foremost, he's a player that ties in with these new age players, you know, the Jude Bellinghams, Jadon Sanchos, you know, Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Curtis Jones, Mason Greenwood. There's bare other names, and there's a player that I haven't mentioned and none of us know at this moment that will complicate things as well. But he's part of that. Obviously, the better pool of literally this selection pool of players we have, the better. And for us, obviously, you know, we've had a golden generation and that failed for whatever reason. We're not going to get into that. But to see these young players and how they're developing, and also for me, the fact that they all go in different countries and getting different educations and stuff like that, that's good for us. You know, I might be thinking a bit more ahead, but, you know, Jamal Musiala, because he counts, we're going to get into it a bit more, because he counts, you know, Yunus Musa and all these other players at all different levels that have gone abroad. You know, someday some of these players have to be coaches, yes or no? So I wonder how that's going to help, you know, because many a time it's the foreign players who come to England and it's not really the other way. So it was in time. I'm keen to see that, but it was obviously you want to have the strongest pool of players. So it's a bitter pill to swallow. Obviously, Jamal Musiala is entitled to make his decision. Personally, I think he's been pushed into making this decision too quickly, but such is life. He's a 17-year-old. He turns 18 this week, but such is life. He's had to make a decision that's going to impact him for the rest of his footballing life. Do you get it already? And I think just let people be people. You know, congratulations to Germany. I do think, you know, he's made the right decision. First and foremost, in the same way Bayern Munich, if he went to another English club, I don't know if he's playing Premier League football, no matter how good I think he's week in, week out for them variables. But in the same way, Bayern Munich had a clear plan, you know, and they could be, and I've got a couple of youth players, but they could have, you know, done other things, you know, that could have done more immediate. The German nationals team setup might have a plan. Yes, he's been exposed to England and Germany at youth level. In fact, forgive me if I'm wrong, he recently got called up for England under 21 duty. But it just seems like England, again, if we called him up a bit quicker into that national team setup, I think it would have been a given. I just think he looks at it and says, I'm probably not going to the Euros with England, whether they're better or not. Germany's doing their thing. Jurgi Low, who he's spoken about, has said I'm levels. He's got a plan. Let me go and do that, because you look at Germany, they need to inject youth, and there's not many players like him. Again, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Neuhaus is German, right? You've obviously got Jamal Musiala. You've got Wirtz as well over at Leverkusen. You know, obviously the Kai Havertz and all these guys are about. but Jamal can be used. I'm keen to see what Jamal is going to be, because I think, you know, he's that number 10. You know, I've seen him play inverted sort of playmaker. Who knows, as he's got the frame for it, and he looks like he'll grow a bit more. He could do that deeper sort of role. I think listen, I've spoken about him at length. You know, he's got the technical ability, he's got a brain. You're only going to get better at Bayern Munich. They managed the youth well as well. You know, he's 17. Beyond the usual injuries, you haven't heard of him overplaying or underplaying. You know how the German thing is set up. They're very effective with periodization and all them sort of things there. So, you know, even the gaffer, you know, the other day he said, you know, Jamal, I can't remember exactly what he said, people, but he said something along the lines of, you know, Jamal 17, he's had a bit of a, not a rough patch, but it wasn't to do with his performance, but he kind of spoke about his development. He said, that's why we've taken the handbrake on, put the handbrake on. So he's in the right hands. And, you know, he had a tough decision to make, because to people that don't know, and I didn't know once upon a time, I had to do my research. You just see as someone of German descent who played for Chelsea and lived around close to Southampton and that, and's gone and played for his country. But courtesy of the Athletic, you know, he's actually, you know, as much as he's of English descent, which is his mother, I believe, or something along the lines of that, you know, he actually came to the country. He's born in Stuttgart. He actually came to England around 7 to 10 years of age, and he couldn't speak a word of English. So, you know, England's in his blood, but he's arguably been German his whole life. And it's an interesting one when you look at people of dual nationality, because as I said, you know, he can remember vividly Germany. He moved to England. He's of English descent. It's become his home. Obviously, he's made friends in the England setup. England is his home as well as Germany. So it is a tough decision to make. But, you know, I'm sure when he looked at it, sporting decision, I'm guessing, you know, it not that it's easier, but there's a clear plan in relation to what Germany want to do. There's been a clearer plan for him. You know, he's playing in the home nation as well. Again, he feels German just as much as English. So, you know, we need to just stop looking at it to a degree like that. I just feel we could have had a chance if we called him up earlier and we didn't take long with the England under-21 setup, because, again, you know, I do think Bayern Munich might have even pushed this decision, because, you know what, life's coming really quick for Jamal Musiala. You know, England could have been an England international. You see, I don't accept it. He's going to be a German international. He's 17. So by the time he turns 18 or a period after that, you know, I don't know this for a fact, but I'd imagine a club like Bayern Munich is going to tie him down to a 5-year deal, because typically when you're 17, you can't sign anything past 3 years or so. So I do think he'll get a new deal for a 5-year period. You know, you have heard English teams are looking at him and things like that based on how he's playing. So yeah, man. As you lot can see here, like I said, man, I think he had to make a decision early. Obviously, it doesn't help. You know, every day he plays good. England, Germany, Germany, England. It looked like England at point, then it looked like Germany. Whatever. I think we took too long, and I think it speaks character of him that, you know, not really a need, but he called Gareth Southgate and informed him of his decision. You know, he's lived in Southampton. He's trained with Chelsea. You know, he came to England at 7 as well, so it's a bitter pill to swallow. You know, we've lost this guy now. Pause. You know, we've lost him. Don't lose Yunus Musa if he hasn't played an official game, people, for USA. That's another one. He's doing his thing at Valencia. Courtesy of The Athletic, which I'm subscribed to, people. You know, before I get into that, you know, I'm sure he feels more the way the thing probably presented to him at Germany or within the German setup, probably it's more concrete, there's more clarity, and that gives you a sense of importance. Southgate, I don't think he's going to do the same in that regards, people. And I don't think he's in his thinking. I think he was in his thinking maybe for after the tournament. You know, this is all, I'm just assuming he's going to go off to Germany with the Euros. I think it's a nail-gone conclusion, but do you get it? And like I said, it's a crazy week. You know, he turns 18. He's getting a new deal, probably get some decent money with that new deal. He's starting Champions League games. You know, he's confirmed his sort of thing. You know, my word, brother. Can you imagine it? Can you remember the week you turned 18? Why was it anything like this? I was just happy to be able to go to Oceania. Like my friends that are born in the year, you know how you get the 2 years in 1 year sort of thing. The people who were 94, I could join them now because I'm now 18 and I can go. And, you know, this man playing Champions League, people. I mean, he's living every boyhood's dream. So, yeah, he's doing his thing. He issued a statement and these sort of things. And this is courtesy of The Athletic and his interview, people. He said, assuming you lot all could see, but I'll read it out anyways. He said, I thought about this question a lot. what is best for my future? Where do I have more chances to play? In the end, I just listened to the feeling that over a long period of time kept telling me that it was the right decision to play for Germany, the land I was born. Still, it wasn't an easy decision for me. Exactly, he said it there. That tells me he's always known the answer, or based on what I'm told, but he's not confirmed it, sort of thing. And I'm sure, he feels just as much English. Obviously, he's got all his boys there. I'm sure, he supported the English team as well as a German one. The parallels are identical. For me, it could have went either way, but, something's tipped into it. And I think when you look at it, I do think it leans toward, for me, from a business point of view, not that it should be that, it leans towards more Germany, because I do think there's more of a plan, because England might call you up, then what, it doesn't really look like there's a plan really and truly. Germany, you see what they're on previously with Ozil and Muller and Kroos and these sort of guys. Way before they went off to win the World Cup, they were playing together at youth tournaments. France have done similar sort of things as well. And there's a couple other examples, and obviously Jamal, he's part of a very good England age group, man. You look at Bear at them players, I've watched them have a good game against Brazil. I'm sad to lose him, man. I used to watch him and Jude Bellingham just control games, and I had the dream that was going to go on to first team level in relation to England, but you can't have it all. I'm just going to have to settle for the other players. Apparently, this is, to us, this has been speculation, but it's probably always been done. And like you can see here, once again, people, long story short, Yogi Low said to have met him in January and went public with his intention of calling them up. Southgate ain't dropped his name, or apart from he's a good player and we're looking and all of these sort of things, the maths makes sense really and truly. Like he said, Jurgen Love is alleged to have told Musiala that there was a clear pathway for him to break into the side in attacking midfield. So again, positionally, there's an avenue. You look at the England team, we don't really know. Again, not that I can tell you what formation Germany are planning to go with, but you look at England, you can sit and say a 4-3-3. I'm sure a lot of you have probably just said, DG, Southgate's playing a 3 at the back. So again, you don't know where players are going to be used. Even Grealish, you don't really know where he's going to use Grealish. You don't really know what's going to be used in midfield. We don't really know who our back line is. I'll bet that Maguire is going to be part of that. John Stones on current form should be in the equation, as I believe should Michael Keane. Shaw's played very well, but Kyle Saka needs to be in that squad somewhere. Obviously, the right back, there's a bag of choices. And midfield, again, you should play an attacking one. But do I sit here and think I'm going to see a midfield of what, you're probably going to see Henderson there. You probably should be Henderson, somebody that can do what Henderson does, and a 10. Or you could probably, if he, I'd like to see, it probably won't happen, but can you get two creative mortal man? Could you get Mount in that 8 row, and then that frees up a space for Foden, and maybe someone can go left wing like Grealish, but Grealish could be used in the midfield. Again, you see what I'm saying? I've speculated bare different things. You don't know how it's going to be called up. Guys could be called up and there's no, he could be called up as a cam. He thinks he's playing as a cam. You're playing right wing. You don't bang. You're not getting called up to the next one. With Germany, there's a clear plan for Donny. There's been an intention. Yes, he's gone out with saying it in March. He's told man from January. So he's decided from last year, you're my guy, because you're not going to call up anyone for England for international duty without doing proper due diligence. And they've done it clearly, Again, 16, 17 years of age, you being in around Bayern Munich squad, playing and doing these things. You don't be there. So again, more chances, clear pathway, probably more opportunity of winning things. And again, I'm sure he feels English. I'm sure he dreamed of playing with a lot of his former teammates and good friends at that level. But again, it makes more sense, people. It speaks volumes of his character, as I said, because apparently he made sure to tell England manager Gareth Southgate personally of his decision this week, unprompted. He talks at lengths of the friendships he made playing for England youth level, and you can obviously detect there's a bit of regret. Now, a bit of that is youthful naivety. Obviously, you're sad to not play with your friends, but business is business, innit? At the end of the day, people. And what I say by business, don't get confused with money. It's like, what do I need to do to certify myself and become the Jamal Musiala I've always wanted? And I'm sure he's wanted to win trophies, Champions League, which is more or less done, but a proper playing a proper part of that, with all due respect, winning Bundesliga and them things. I'm sure he has ambitions of playing in the Prem. When he'll realize that, I don't know, because the more he grows at Bayern Munich and for Germany, there's only a few clubs that could afford him, and would you really want to leave, sort of thing. So it's disappointing to see him leave. Well, I say see him leave, but not be involved. We've lost that one. It's a bitter pill to swallow, pause, like I said. Quite upsetting for me. I was, I thought, I might see that. But I can't, it is what it is. And to be fair with you, do I see Southgate calling up Jamal Musiala as much as I would love him to call up Jude Bellingham in the Euros? I don't really see him bringing these sort of young players there. I think the ones that he's going to bring, not that these are undeniable, but I think he'll bring Saka. I don't even think Saka's going. I think Saka deserves to, but he brings Saka because he can play a number of roles and might not necessarily start, And I think he'll bring Foden because even with even with Foden, Foden could play off the left, could play off the right as an inverted role like he's done at City. Play as a cam. I actually think he could play deeper, and that's something he should be able to do. But he won't do that. And really and truly, you don't know who's going to get called up. You don't know how they're going to be used. So I just think you'd be able to sleep more peacefully at night playing for Germany. And like I said, that's technically the country of his birth. And I didn't bring it up there, but the Athletic went on to say that, Gnabry, Kimmich, all of these guys have been in his ear. So in terms of playing for Germany, so, whatever Germany have done in their approach of getting Jamal Musiala to commit, it is what it is, people. So, in true DG rambling fashion, I'm here longer than I thought, but that's all I've got to say. It is what it is in that regards. We're going to lose a lot more. Everywhere there's a lot of players popping up of dual nationality. We're thinking I'm focusing on Germany and England. He's eligible to play for Nigeria as well. So we'll have to see how things develop, people. But on that note, people, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe and comment if you wish. Thank you for listening. I'm out.